China's warned India not to take any action that may escalate tension in the region and said upholding peace will be a joint effort.
关于你提的第一个问题，
India and China are in communication and negotiations on lowering the temperatures through military and diplomatic channels, so no party should engage in any action that may escalate the tension at this point.
A shipment of more than 13 tons of human hair has been seized by US customs agents. It's believed the hair, destined to be used for wigs and in salons, was taken from Uyghur Muslims and other detainees held in camps in China. The products came from China's far west Xinjiang region, where more than 1 million people are in so-called re-education camps. Authorities suspect some of the products, worth an estimated $800,000, were taken forcibly. Julie Millsap is Communications Director at Campaign for Uyghurs. She joins us now from San Antonio in the US state of Texas. Thank you for your time. What was your response when you first read this report about hair being taken from those detained in these labour camps?
Well, unfortunately, this is just further confirmation of something that Uyghurs have been trying to scream to the international community for years now. It's a very graphic representation of the types of horrors that the Chinese regime is currently carrying out.
I mean, talking about types of horrors, a recent report also said there was forced sterilisation happening of Uyghur women. The US Commission on International Religious Freedom believing it might meet the legal criteria for genocide. I mean, is there anything that the international community could do to effect change?
There are a lot of things that we can do. The United States passing the Uyghur Human Rights Policy Act is an important first step, but there are so many more things that need to be done. We need other countries to start enacting sanctions similar to Magnitsky Global Sanctions. We need them to hold China accountable and to stop rewarding this type of behavior. And most importantly, we need businesses that may have these connections to forced labor in the region to pull their business out.
Talking about those businesses, another report last year found major brands like Nike and Amazon sourcing products from parts of China where slave labour may be part of the supply chain. So I guess my question is, what responsibility should big brands and also consumers bear here?
They have a huge responsibility. I think that, unfortunately, a lot of people are not aware of these connections, and hopefully that will continue to change as this information continues to come out. But even most recently, a few months ago, Amazon purchased $10 million in equipment, which they claimed was to help with temperature monitoring in their warehouses in the United States. But they purchased that equipment from a company that's already blacklisted by the US government as the ones that supply the equipment to maintain this police state in the region. So they do have an enormous responsibility, and we hope that the more and more consumers, as they become aware of these atrocities, will continue to hold these companies accountable if, unfortunately, they are not willing to take the proper steps of their own accord.
Arguably, when there's good relations with China, it might make it more difficult for countries to take action against China. But with the pandemic, there's been really increased scrutiny of China, and also with the new national security law in Hong Kong. There's been deteriorating relations with China with several Western nations. Is that just emboldening China to continue on as is?
Yes, I think that a lot of the things that have happened in the last few months in terms of the pandemic and the global bullying type of diplomatic tactics we see China taking is just serving to wake the international community up to a reality that has existed within China for a long time now. Unfortunately, they do seem to be becoming emboldened that they don't feel the need to defend these atrocities. They can justify them and not face consequences. Right now, China's being rewarded by hosting the Olympics in 2022. And so we have really seen that the international community failing to take action for years and years and years has just built up to this point where they feel comfortable committing these atrocities in broad daylight, so to speak, with absolutely no consequence.
Thank you for your time, Julie Millsap, there, Communications Director at Campaign for Uyghurs.
Thank you.
Libyan government forces have unearthed bodies from another mass grave in a former stronghold of warlord Khalifa Haftar. 5 bodies have been found at the latest site.